Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We are back with another episode of It's Not Just You.
We're back.
We're back.
And we're better.
I feel like we say it at the start of every single thing.
We're back.
We've filmed a couple of these now, so we're getting into the swing of things.
We're really getting into the swing. It's becoming natural.
Yes, it really is.
Oh, natural.
We're very much enjoying it, aren't we?
We already, reflections would be just a lot easier than YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, like, you still kind of have to get yourself in the mindset of sitting and recording. But I think for us, it's probably having the like time pressure limit taken off.
Yeah.
And also it's more just about us having a conversation than the whole visual and the like, I don't know.
Yeah, making it super concise, punchy.
Yeah.
People just like, I mean, I love just listening to people chat on a podcast, like not even necessarily about the thing that you clicked on it for.
Yeah.
You know?
They're just having a chinwag.
So, yeah.
All right. Should we get into the episode?
Let's do it. I'm ready. I'm excited for this one.
Okay, guys. Today's episode is kind of juicy. No. I mean,
5 out of 10 on the juice.
5 out of 10. All right. So what is it? It's not.
I feel like
just,
I always say it.
I
You
know,
say
but I
it.
quite like it.
No, you say it.
All right. You say the start then.
Okay. Today's episode is It's Not Just You.
Who finds friendships with guys complicated?
Ooh.
We always then do that. Ooh. Who finds friendships with guys complicated?
Oh.
Overall, do you find friendships with guys complicated?
Overall, no, but I can't give an answer. Yes and no.
Yeah.
Depends who the friend is.
Yeah, literally.
It's literally dependent on the friendship.
Yeah, that's true actually. Some friends, no,
Some
not
friends,
complicated at all. Other friends,
turmoil.
turmoil. Wow, let's dig into that.
Do you have, okay, let's start off. Do you have any stories of times where friendship with a guy has been complicated? Care to share?
Care to share? I think so. I think friendships with guys.
I want the story.
I know. Well, I'm trying to think of a specific. I know you've got one, so you go.
No,
let
you
me
go.
think. No, let me think.
Oh, you haven't thought?
Not really. Let me think as you speak.
Okay, I'll speak. It's nothing super specific, dramatic, but when I was, this is probably in year 12, but I had a friend at school and we were really
year
close.
12, okay.
We were really, well, I'd say we were close from about year 9. So year 9 through into 6th form, we were really close mates, like genuinely solid friendship. Would hang out all the time. Would hang out on like one-on-one as well. Never weird. He liked my best mate or like dated my best mate. So I feel like it made it quite clear.
We're just friends.
We're not, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's even just that thing of, even if they, at the time they weren't dating, it's like, you know, girl code. I'm not going to go for him. He's not going to go for me. So it was like just a really just beautiful, lovely friendship. And then I was saying to Rachel earlier, I only remembered this recently when we had filmed a YouTube video where we were going back through our old journals.
Yeah.
And I found these like few extracts in my journal from like a period of time. This was, when I was in year 12. And I was just like in this journal writing, I think I like blank. I'm not going to say his name. I think I like him.
Wait, is this whilst he was with his girlfriend?
No. He didn't have a girlfriend at this point. But like we were still friends.
Okay.
And basically had just got it into my head that I liked him. And it was like, he's just a great friend. And like, he has these qualities and I think I actually like him as more than a friend and blah, blah, blah. And nothing ever happened and it never kind of escalated to that point. And like, I mean, even in the moment, but again, looking back, I actually know that I didn't like him. Like I genuinely know I didn't like him.
Just convince yourself. We've all been there.
I think it just reminded me of how, I guess, when you're close friends with a guy, like I said, he was an amazing friend. He was a really good friend. We got on really well. And it's almost, I think sometimes your brain can't compute like good friend guy, how does that not equal
guy
fancy?
Did you find him attractive?
Not particularly, but it wasn't like, I think that's the key. It's like,
That is the key, because if you combine attractive, get on really well, spend a lot of time together, good friends, why would your conclusion not be, oh, maybe that could be more?
Yeah. And I think, well, I don't know, why wouldn't it be more? In terms of like genuinely, why wouldn't it be more?
Well, yeah.
But I think in this case,
because
it was
you
like,
might just not, like, you might find him attractive, but like, yeah, the feelings aren't reciprocated, or like, it's just still not that vibe.
Yeah.
Because I do think you can find people attractive. Oh no, to be honest, the conclusion is just like, you do fancy them then, don't you?
No, because I think it can be almost, when you think about it properly, you're like, no, but there's enough.
Yeah.
So let's say like you're looking for someone that's at least like 8 out of 10 in all these like combined looks, personality,
on
everything.
your own scale.
It's hitting like at least 8 out of 10 with all those things combined, but they might be getting like 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
So it's not
for
like,
you.
huh?
What do you mean 6 out of 10 for
I'm
you?
not explaining this very well. I'm saying like,
Sorry, I got a bit lost at the scales.
okay, get rid of the scale. What I'm trying to say is, someone might have looks that you're not like, oh my gosh, I'm so attracted, but it's like, you're not, you're not ugly, or like, I'm not attracted. They might have a personality where they're hitting some things that you're looking for, but not everything.
Yeah.
That can, so overall, they're not the full package that you're looking for, but there's enough to confuse you into thinking, oh, maybe I do like them. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. And I also do think you can have friends that you could, you know, appreciate as an attractive person.
Yeah,
you get on with them
objectively.
well. You spend a lot of time together, but you don't want to date them. Like, just because you don't, the feelings aren't there. You don't like them like that. So,
but I think that's it. It's like there's almost enough that if you're having one of those days where you're just feeling a bit confused, your mind can trick you into thinking, maybe you do like them.
Yeah. Or even like other people asking you, who do you like, who do you fancy? And your mind kind of goes to them, even though you maybe don't. But like you say, there's enough there to make you think, oh, maybe I do.
Yeah.
So then with this guy at school, why did it just why did it just fizzle out? Or why did you not say anything?
Well, I think because, again, it was the whole thing of like, he'd like my best friend, they had dated. So I was always very just felt, oh, I can't like him because my best mate's got history with him. So that was one factor. I think another factor again was when it actually boiled down to it, I think even at the time I don't think I actually like this person like enough to go and do anything about it. But it was almost just those kind of, and do you know what I forgot? I think at the time, I can't remember why, but for some reason there'd been maybe like a fallout in my friendship group.
Classic.
And we hadn't been,
Classic.
and we hadn't been hanging out as much because of this fallout or something. So I think almost those feelings of like, oh, I just miss him as a friend, got confused in my brain of like, you're missing him. That means that you like him, like all of that. So I think I basically worked out then when the kind of fallout died down and I started hanging out with him again, I was like, oh yeah, we're just friends. But in that kind of period where we weren't talking loads, weren't hanging out, and my mind, I guess, was just left to wander about it all.
Yes.
I think that's where I got a little bit confused.
Yeah. I think for me, I mean, one main reflection would be I went to an all-girls school. So growing up, like, I actually didn't have, obviously, like, on the daily, loads of male friends. Like, all my friends were females. And then I do think that added this extra level of, like, boys. Because, like...
the mysterious creatures.
Yeah, it would be like, you know... So there was a boys' school equivalent of my school, and and the schools were also very close together. So we all lived in the same town. So after school, it would be like you're walking through town. The boys' school have just been let out, so they're coming out, and I definitely think that fueled the whole element of like, oh my goodness, it's a boy.
Yeah.
So like, it was quite hard to have guy friends naturally without it being like, like, oh, you might fancy them.
Yeah.
Because you're not in each other's proximity. You're not just hanging out.
Yeah.
So it would be
So
like
it's
an
quite
arranged
intentional.
meetup in the park. And like, it would already kind of be like, oh, you know, when you're at that age as well, it's like, there's already kind of like chat around, oh, this person and this person, this person and this person. So it was all quite intense, I would say. Like, so I think that almost laid a foundation of like me not really ever having like just guys who were just mates until I kind of grew up and came to uni a bit. So for me, like the situation you've just described was almost like a common thing of like most of the guys that I knew, it was always a question mark of like, okay, yeah, we're friends and we like hang out, but it's never just in that natural way that you would hang out with girls and just be with them all the time. So it would be like when you were hanging out with a guy, there was often like...
It's low-key date vibes.
One of you must fancy each other or like you've arranged to meet up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you can tell the difference where it's like I said, with this friend I had at school, like we would hang out all the time. We'd like, you know, go to like Nando's. We'd like go to McDonald's Drive. And it genuinely like 100%... It was never weird and I never felt that kind of on edge feeling of, oh, I'm alone with this guy. And
I think what I learned was like, also what I have just learned is like, you can't necessarily always assume something like either way. You can't assume that someone doesn't like you and you can't assume that they do like you. So it's like, even when I would like, I remember like I had some guys at school who I did think like, nah, like we're certified like mates here. Like we are just mates.
Yeah.
But like.
Then they hit you with the.
Yeah. Then they hit you with the like.
Hey, can we have a chat?
Yeah. Can we have a chat? Or like, I like you. And you're like, what? Yeah. But then also on my side as well, times where I remember like I had this one really good friend and a bit, I guess similar to you, like I spent summer away from them. And I just think sometimes that kind of thing, the distance creates, like you can just run away in your head. Like, because this guy at times had like hinted that he might like me, even though he was a really good friend. And it was always kind of like, no. But then I just convinced myself over this period of summer that like I did like him. Like, you know, you just take it so far in your head. Like you're like, I'm going to have a boyfriend. Like when we next see each other, I'm going to tell him that I like him because like, he's amazing. We get on so well. We're really good friends. I think I find him attractive. Then it's like, you get back together and you're like,
oh, no, I don't.
Oh, like, and not in like
but you've almost
a mean way, but just like, I just don't have those feelings for you.
Because I think it's almost like you've almost created a fake version of that person in your mind.
Or fake feelings where you're like, no, I do feel like this. I do. And it's like, I don't.
Yeah.
And then you just see them. And I remember that was really bad because like, friends had all been involved and it was all hyped up to him. And then I'd literally like came back, hung out with him and was like, oh no, I don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think what we're trying to say here is it can be confusing, can't it?
Yeah.
Like, I think when you have a single guy and a single girl who are friends, get on very well, just there is so much room for just blurred, I don't know, feelings, boundaries, intentions, where it's like, you can literally think someone doesn't feel a certain way or they do, and they might be feeling the exact opposite.
It's just, I think sometimes it's like you just can't fathom the idea of, so I could just be friends with someone.
Yeah.
That's the opposite.
No, but it's not
sex.
it's not like, I think me and Soph can fathom that idea because like Soph and myself both have male friends and it's like, you are a brother and like I'm never gonna fancy you and I'm like 99% sure you will never fancy me. But I feel like sometimes there's other people that can't fathom that a guy and a girl can just be friends. And I think we've both had this with certain close like male friends and like the people around us, whether it's friends or whatever, like not out of like bad intent, but just see two people that get on really well, who are great and are like, you fancy each other, you fancy each other, you fancy each other, one of you fancies each other, like you must do. And then like before you know it, again, like we're saying, it's like you can't work out like how you actually feel.
And I think that's also just unhelpful because like say it's already very easy for these types of friendships to become complicated and confusing. So
Yeah.
then when you've got people, when you actually feel sure in like, oh, actually, no, I think this is fine. I think this is actually just a friendship. And then people the whole time are throwing in, oh, but like, would you ever actually date them? And you're like, no, for the 57th time.
Yeah.
Like,
and then like,
but then your brain starts going, oh, but like if everyone's saying it, then maybe I'm just missing something.
or like what's everyone seeing that I'm not?
Yeah.
That is honestly the word. Like, even like when you were saying earlier, like you've got a friend that's literally like a sibling, but like you genuinely found yourself being like, oh, do I?
Yeah, but that's the thing of the mind. It will just take you down these like thought. And then, I mean, this is a total side note, but it kind of fits in the same thing. But I was saying to Rach earlier about how, I don't know if anyone else has had it where they've, for some reason, had a dream about someone.
Yes.
And like you're dating, or like in this dream, you're like, you know, what someone that in real life is just a friend, like there's like some sort of romantic scenario going on around that person. And you wake up and you're genuinely like, I fancy them. Like, or like, what? Like it's so confusing. And then like you go and see them and you're like looking at them like, oh my gosh, what? Like,
I feel like you've had that quite a few times. Where,
but it
like,
would
just
so
be
random.
like, random friends or rogue friends. And like Soph would just be like, yeah, I had this dream that I was like with so-and-so. And I'm like, what? And then it's like, I just know what you mean, where it's like, you just start overthinking
because it
that.
kind
You're
of
like,
feels
why
real.
is that? And then you're even like, why is that on my subconscious?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I do like this person. Like
deep down.
Like maybe like, I don't know, my mind is, you know.
telling me something.
And it's like.
And then like, you know, most 9 times out of 10, you then see them and you're like, yeah, no, I don't fancy them.
Yeah,
but like
I have had that. I've had one extreme example of that where the dream felt so realistic that I actually like cried. But
yeah, I guess I mean, what do you think helps in terms of having friends? Or no, I'm going to go back. Where do you think people get it wrong, or where have you got it wrong?
I think
with having good friendships with guys,
where I've got it wrong would probably just be a lack of communication / waiting too long to clarify something.
Yeah.
Like I think the way to like deal with all of these kind of scenarios is basically just to communicate. And we were chatting with a friend Mads, and she was saying like, you know, it's way better to have an awkward 5-minute conversation that clears the air and then leads to a really like life-giving good friendship where you're both on the same page than not. And then the friendship just either fizzles out, dies, or becomes really awkward.
Yeah.
And like it is intense sometimes to have those conversations, particularly when you don't actually know how the other person's feeling. Because it's all very well going into a conversation assuming that someone doesn't feel something or does feel something, and then you're met with the opposite and you're like, cool.
Yeah.
Like, but I think that's where we were saying earlier, like, don't assume anything. And like those conversations are quite intense or hard to initiate sometimes. But also like if you're friends, then like
it shouldn't be like the most difficult thing.
Shouldn't be like awful. And also the reality is that the other person has probably at times also wanted clarity.
Yeah.
So you're doing yourself both a favor to just basically clarify, just to confirm for you, are there feelings here or are there not?
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm just, as you were saying that, I feel like there's kind of 2 paths with this whole thing, because there's the path of, I genuinely do want this to be a friendship. And so whatever confusion or weirdness there is, what I'm looking for as the end result is a friendship. But there's obviously then the other side of it of you're friends with a guy, but you do actually like them. And that's the confusing part, because you're like, do I sacrifice or potentially put this friendship at risk,
jeopardize the friendship
kind of potential that maybe there could be something more. What happens if it's not? And then
But I think if you're in that situation, like, you're eventually going to want clarity anyway. Because how long can you carry on in a friendship where you actually have feelings or like them without knowing?
Yeah, true.
Like, what's the other option? You just try and wait for the feelings to die. I don't think that's going to happen if you're hanging out with them a lot.
Yeah, but then I guess it depends what you want to do, because I guess if that's your case where you're friends with a guy, you like them,
and you want to carry on being friends.
Yeah, maybe it's that you then have to just adjust your friendship in terms of, I mean, I'd say the best thing to do would just be to have a conversation and, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Have a conversation and be honest.
Yeah.
But if for whatever reason you don't want to do that, it might be that, I guess, to protect yourself, you can't be hanging out with them the whole time. You can't be one-on-ones, deep chats.
Yeah.
If you're catching feelings, then I think the sad reality is that friendship is just going to have to change.
Yes.
Because it's clearly just not, I guess, at its purest form of friendship anymore. Or it's not probably helpful for your thinking.
Yeah.
Mentality.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you were, let's say right now, you have a male friend who you like.
Yeah.
What would you be doing about it? You get on really well, you're hanging out with them a lot, and you like them. Like, you don't want to bin the friendship off, like, that's not possible.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do?
What am I going to do?
What you going to do?
Well, I think, like I said...
What you going to do?
Well, I feel like there's been times where I've been in that situation and actually...
The feelings have just died.
Yeah, but also I think that was probably a result of time. And also I've been in situations where for me thinking about it, having a conversation actually wasn't appropriate or didn't feel like the right thing to do. So I think that's where you just have to adjust how you're, kind of interacting with each other, because
and try and let
clearly
the feelings die.
something that's happening, or how the frequency of how much time we're spending together or what we're chatting about is making me feel like, I do feel like this is more than a friendship in my mind.
Yeah.
And if that's the case and I know it's not going to happen, then it's going, well, I can't have that kind of depth of friendship with this person anymore, because it's not good for me, I guess.
Yeah. So I guess it's like, if having a conversation just isn't right for right now, then it's almost like, how can you just distance yourself a little bit? I mean, to be honest, that might prompt a conversation, because the other person could be like, they might what's going on? But if you can have a conversation, I do think that is, it's overall, it's the more scary option.
That's number one choice.
Yeah, it's the scary option, but overall, you have 100% clarity. There's no reason why you don't have clarity. And we were chatting with a friend again, even the other day, who, was confused about a guy friendship, was just like, this is just consuming my mind. It's taking up way too much of my time, my mind space. Like, I don't want to have this question mark. Rings the guy up, like, hey, they're like used to calling, like, and just being like, I just want to clarify, like, where are you, like, where are your feelings at, like, with us, like, are we, like, we're just friends, right? He was able to be like, yeah, like, that's how I view you, like, is that how you view me? Yeah, great, brilliant, there's clarity, and they can move on, and she doesn't then have the fear that he likes her or whatever. Obviously all the conversations don't always go like that. One of them might be like, oh no, I do like you, and you're like, oh but like then you can just navigate that.
You just have to, and it'll be different for every situation, but you just would then I think from that point have to work out what's appropriate for the friendship. Yeah,
and also I would say, in your head, it's always going to feel like it will be really awkward, but in reality, of course, maybe there's awkwardness to navigate after a conversation like that, but I think people freak out way too much about that. I think if you're both two good people who want to still get on or whatever, why can't you? Doesn't have to be awkward.
What about just in general, let's say there's not necessarily been tons and tons of confusion or I don't know, reasons to think that another person might like you. just generally, what would you say would be good thing, or like a good thing to do, or things to do when having friendships with guys, just to keep them
just to keep them healthy. As in, like, is this two single people?
Yeah. Like, there's not been like this big hoo-ha, but like, you're just like, oh, I just want to do this well.
Yeah. I do think if it feels necessary at some point, some kind of like just clarity that you're on the same page is like really healthy. Where it's like, even if it's just like a comment,
in a
like,
joking way,
in a jokey way, like, oh, you know, so-and-so said like, oh no, maybe this isn't a good example. I was going to say like, so-and-so said like, oh, we would make a great couple, but like,
obviously not. Then they just start crying.
Like, or like some kind of like informal way of clarifying that you're on the same page equals...
Just call them bro every day.
Oh gosh. Do you know what, guys? We once had a conversation with some male friends who were like, it's quite rude to like call guys bro. But
fundamentally disagree.
Yeah. Also, if that's rude, then I am a rude gal because I'm literally whipping out that word. Yeah, but
you wouldn't call someone that you liked bro. Yeah. That's the whole point.
Yes. Yeah. So I'll carry on calling my male friends bro. Thank you. What else? What else? Do you think there are just boundaries when there is a guy and a girl friendship?
I think
there probably should be.
The level of safety you feel.
Yeah, because also if at one point one of you starts meeting someone else and you're dating, I think you've also got to put it through that lens of like, well, how would a potential future boyfriend feel about your current friendship with... Because I was saying like, I was thinking just then like, oh, if you've got clarity, you can just go in like best mates, hanging out all the time. But like there's certain things I do with female friends, like even like that I just probably wouldn't do with like guy friends.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I think it's just the inevitable thing of if you got in a relationship, the friendship would probably change a bit anyway. Just because, like we've said before, friendships change. Yeah. But I think, you just have to think, what is this gonna, or like, how is this gonna be if I was to get in a relationship? Yeah. I don't know.
So then what boundaries are you putting in place? Like practically, what are you like?
I don't know. Do you
know what I mean?
There's nothing that I've like, it's not like I've written down a list of like how to interact with male friends.
Female friendships.
I think for me, I would base it on the level of like security that I feel within that friendship with a guy.
Okay.
E.g., if there's like multiple reasons as to why I can see that this is just not going to be a romantic thing.
Yes.
And like the confidence levels are, you know, like say 99%.
Yeah.
There's been clarification. Yeah. Then I would feel like I wouldn't have tons of boundaries.
That's so true. That's the same as me.
If it's a bit lower down, we've not had a clarifying conversation. I don't know you that well. I don't know, like where there's just more like, potential that it could lead that way. Then I probably wouldn't be like, let's just like go on a late night drive at like 11 p.m. on our own. If I thought they were a friend, because that to me would insinuate that's a date.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so say someone like our friend Max, we're really close. There's no doubt in my mind that that's not a friendship.
Or is it?
Oh, wow.
Guys, honestly, if in 20 years' time Sophie's with Max Avard, I will lose my mind.
But I think that's, for me, that's a prime example of...
Yeah.
Me and Max have been friends for 6 years. He's had... I was going to say he's had many girlfriends in between. He's had...
A few
girlfriends.
Yeah.
They look nothing like me. They're nothing like me. Like, I've been friends with him throughout all of those times. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? Where you're like...
Anyway, guys, feel like...
I don't know what we're talking about now.
We've gone on a tangent. Headlines are...
you haven't answered. Would you, like, is there anything that you would do?
No, I think I said I'd be the same as you. Like, it's on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
Like, the more I know a friend, the more comfortable I feel. Like, the more, certain I am that we're just friends. Then I probably would interact with them more like I would with like a girl.
Yeah.
But that's actually, if I look at all my male friendships, that's probably like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Whereas like the majority, I'm not gonna be how I would be necessarily with my female friends, because I don't know, it's just different.
I think it's also just when you're like, I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need the confusion.
Yeah.
I don't need to
Also,
be
I've
like...
got many like great girls that give me kind of what I need in friendships. So it's, you know,
Yeah.
when it's like, I don't know.
For the sake of just having a simple life.
Yeah.
Basically, just stay away from boys.
No, I was going to say, that is not the point of this
No,
podcast.
the point I'm trying to make, though, is more like, say there's a guy who okay, that's a hypothetical situation. There's a guy, you've just, maybe not just met him, but like, you're just getting to know him. Seems like a great guy. You do get on really well. You can see similarities. You're not attracted to him. You don't fancy him, but you think, like, there could be a friendship that develops here. I think in the same way that with a girl, I would just go straight in and be like, hey, do you want to hang out? Like, come round, we can have dinner, we could go for food, whatever. Oh, Rach just nudged the camera.
Sorry.
I just wouldn't, like, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Because even if my intention is friendship, that's just not how it's going to, that's just not, fundamentally, that is not going to be how it will come across.
Yeah.
So I think you just kind of have to...
Also, for some people, they will just do that because it's like, yeah, why not? Like,
Well, then I would say you're just...
But this is all through the lens of trying to like stop yourself being hurt in the future or hurting someone else. Because obviously, like all of these things, you could view them through the lens of like, it's not that deep. Like, yeah, have them round.
No,
like,
yeah, for sure.
But like essentially from the lens of like actually...
Trying to keep things uncomplicated.
And healthy.
Unproblematic.
So on that note,
I think we've spoken enough.
Hope you guys enjoyed this. I think we've rambled enough. I'd be intrigued to know like if anyone just has like thoughts on this, or I don't know, maybe you're listening to this like, I find friendships with guys so easy, like I've got it nailed. Then please do let us know how
please
to do
share.
But yeah,
great, we'll leave it there then.
We'll leave it there, guys,
and see you on the next episode.
See you in our next episode.
Bye.
Bye.